Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do part 2 of the darker browns, some of the polychromos colors that you can choose from. Now I've written it out. I don't have all the pencils to swatch. I'm sorry, not yet, soon. What you're going to look at and pull out is your raw umber. You're going to get your walnut brown and your dark sepia. And these are really your comps for these pencils that you're going to use for all these little tricks I'm going to show you. In your kit, number 7, you're going to find a blank sheet that looks like this, and you're going to need this blank sheet. Download it because we're going to use it all through the class. If you notice, it's hard to see, but there are some swatches over here and a lot of room for writing in your colors. You're also going to take out of your book your espresso and your sepia. These are the 2 colors that we're going to be working with today, and mostly with the sepia. Now, last week we went over the uses for sepia. We're going to go deep dive it a little bit more. Now, we know that the umbers are for your browns, for your darkest browns. So wherever you're going to use your darkest browns, that's what you're going to pick up. Umber, under the earth, anything that's earthen. Sepia is a little bit different, and we're going to take a look at why it's a little bit different. In your books, you're going to swatch your 2 sepias. Sepia is, I would say, your lighter one in the Prismacolor set, and your espresso is your darker one. For the most part today, we're going to be working with sepia. Espresso you're going to use for your really super dark. These 2 colors are going to replace black. And what this does is it still adds life. It doesn't suck the life out of your pictures. It won't suck the light out of your pictures. In other words, it won't make your pictures look flat. So wherever you're going to pick up your pencil and have the urge to use your black, you're going to pick up one of these 2 colors. Now, if you take a look at the differences once you've swatched them, on these swatches, you could see the face clearly through the sepia. It is much more translucent. This is what you want. This one is much more opaque, and you're going to use this for your deepest, darkest crevices. It's a very dark color. So you see what the difference is. For the most part, you're going to use this when it's functional, when you need to go dark in places. Even into your trees, you can use your espresso because it really does have a lot of brown in it. Remember, your undertone is brown leading gray, and your temperature is cool, and it is a muted color. You could read the rest of this. In fact, I'm going to give you all of that in this lesson. We're going to move on to just sepia. Brown leading towards a golden red, and its temperature is warm, and its type is muted. Remember, when you're comparing this to the umber is cool. So when you're going to use this sepia for shadow, you're going to use it when your temperatures are warm. So that's sepia. We're going to now take a really deep dark look at what it does to pencils. Okay, I have a nicer one than this. Okay, this is the one you're going to get in your kit number 7, and that comes from your newsletter. The link is in the description. This is free. All these things are free for anybody to have, and all you have to do is sign up for the newsletter, and every week it goes into your email. If you would like the book that goes along with this class, which I really recommend you have because it's going to really put this whole thing together, but it's not, I keep saying it's not necessary. It's definitely a good thing to have. It's going to really keep your stuff organized and give you a really central grounding place where all the information is. If not, you got to write it down. So you're going to have your sepia pencil out. You're going to take a look at this master list. Now, when you get it, you're not getting it with the colors. I did my homework. I did my boxes. You're going to get it where it looks like this. And I've given you the colors that you're going to use for this. For my laydown, let's see if I have one of the blanks. Let me just show you how I laid it down I'm going to use a couple of colors just to show you. Okay, so what I did was I went on the outside, then I left a little bit of white. You're going to use the white of the page to do your highlight. And then down here, I left the second highlight down here. Now, after this, I'm going to take my pencil, whatever color you're choosing to use, and I'm going to use, probably out of the group, I'm going to choose the middle value pencil. And I'm going to go down half. Work lightly, you build up your colors. Okay, not putting any pencil into the areas that I'm leaving blank. Now I'm working very fast. You're going to work much slower than this. So it kind of looks like this. Okay, you're leaving this for a lighter pencil. What color did I pick up? I picked up pomegranate. So let's pick up a pink. It's hot pink? Yeah, hot pink. So you're going to pick up hot pink or whatever is your lightest color in the group. And I'm going to color over this area right here. Then I'm going to take my darkest and I'm going to use an indigo. Maybe not. Maybe I'll pick up a darker red. Let me see what this is. Dark purple, that would be pretty. Okay, so after I have all of this done, I'm going to go with the darkest color on the edge. Now, this is just one lay down. If you wanted to follow the sheet, this is the lay down I did for the sheet. Okay, I'm going to go over it a couple times with my colors just to get some more pencil down on the paper. Then I'm going to pick up my white and I'm going to go to town on it, blending the white. Now we're going to, it's going to change a little bit of color. We're going to go through a lesson on why it changes color the way it does. I have a really interesting lesson on that. Okay, remember to use your strokes. I'm just basically scribbling. I wouldn't actually, if I was doing artwork, do this. And I'm going to take my white and I'm going to go over that area just to make sure that nothing gets in there that, I mean, a little bit of pink is going to get in there, but not much. Now the magic happens. Okay. Now that you have this, we're going to get your sepia out. You're going to have to find your sepia when your sepia is all over the desk. This may take me a minute. Okay, I have my sepia. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a very light glaze of sepia over the edges. See what's happening to this? It's starting to become very realistic looking as, I guess, a stone as you build up your layers. Now, why does the sepia not turn this dark brown color? Well, it's because it's a neutral. And remember when we were talking about translucency, where I was saying that the sepia is translucent. Here is the face underneath. Because I am glazing over this, okay, with a neutral pencil, with that neutral sepia, it's going to pick up a little bit of the brown, but what it's going to do is it's going to darken the color that's underneath it beautifully. So it's almost like your magic pencil. And I haven't really changed the color of the stone from the reds. It's still in the red family, but now it comes together. Then I'm going to take my white again, and I'm going to go over and blend everything up. Now remember, I'm going very fast because time management, and I'm going to go over that highlighted area. Now this time I'm going a little bit past the area that I highlighted before into the colored area so that it blends out evenly. You don't really want a stark, harsh highlight. And then I just keep going with my colors. We're at the top layers now. Going with my purple again. You don't want to end with using white because the white is going to sort of wash out your color. You always want to end on the color that you wanted to use. And those are the reds. Make sure my edges are clean. My pencil could be a little bit sharper. For this last stage, I like to usually work with a very sharp pencil just to keep that edge clean. And then my sepia, I am going to sharpen that. I'm going to make sure that glaze is nicely over the edges. My hand, I'm working very lightly on the paper. And then the very last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use my white, my acrylic. I use acrylic brand. You can get that off of Amazon. And I'm not going to make a line going down the whole entire thing because I don't want that. I just want a little dab in the center. I want to use all that blended material in there to go with it. Wait for it to dry for a few minutes. I don't have that luxury of time. And then maybe I'll take my pomegranate again, and I'm going to just clean up the edges so that the edges are not sticking out. And that's your laydown. Now, the funny thing about sepia is it will work for every color, okay? So it takes on this really natural, realistic, almost makes it look wet, stone-like. It puts your edges where they're supposed to. Now, I didn't use too much of it on here because I wanted to demo it, but it works with your blues very lightly. It works with your yellows. Now, notice that the blue is cool and the yellow would be warm. And here I am with the sepia. It acts like a neutral. So it's not going to affect the color temperature-wise either way. And as you already used it on the reds, here down here we have purples. Okay, we have the pink and the violet over here, and it does the same. And you see, you really can't tell that you're using this dark brown pencil. Just keep it very light. Just a glaze so that color comes up and through. And even here on your clay rose and your skin tones, it's a beautiful color for skin tone to get into those shadow areas and to go up. Just making sure this is still in the camera view. And just imagine this is the hairline as it blends into your skin tone. This would have been a peachy skin tone, but it would work with darker skin tones too. Works beautiful with the brown. So really, this is a very versatile pencil. It should be used a lot. So you're going to remember sepia sky. The last thing I'm going to show you is a lay down, which you're going to get for your skies. Now, this is actually a copy. It's not the real deal. Let me get some color onto this. Yeah, okay. Now, I would have a lot more wax on this to do this. But instead of, so this is the indigo blue. Instead of this it would be used down in this area. This would be the sepia. Instead of using black, don't lift up your hand to use black. Go over your indigo blue with your sepia. And there you get a natural night sky. Now, if you go outside and you look, your night skies are not black, unless you're looking at the black hole. So resist that black pencil on your skies. Okay, so that's the class for today. Remember, sepia, space, umber, under, earthy, under the sky, earthy color. And I will see you guys next week. Take care. Bye-bye.